Alright guys, just showed you that little hump in the gearbox there. So how to actually get into the Gini iFocus. This is where we get to the meat and potatoes of getting into this thing. I pretty much have everything just loose and sitting here so you can get an idea, and that way it'll go a little bit quicker. But essentially, you know, you're going to need a couple tools. You're going to need 3 Allen or hex keys, a 2, a 2.5, and a 3. And you're going to need a pair of circlip pliers. That's really all you need to get into this thing. There's a little bit of trickery. If you got some mechanic backgrounds, then this will be a little bit easier, but for the most part it's not that hard. I really don't see any purpose of getting into this thing unless you have problems. Mine was really sticky, so I just decided to take it apart and go for it. You know, considering how hard the communication's been between Gini. So the first thing I was going to note is that this gearbox is going to be full of really sticky, gross, weird, kind of wet glue lubricant, which is actually what's adding the damping. And so keep that in mind. Have a rag or some degreaser nearby, because it's going to get super messy. I actually degreased my whole gearbox already just to try to find what the problem was. But just note that when you're going to get into this thing. So the first thing is you're going to want to take the handle off. Hopefully you can get to this step, which is basically just taking it off the bracket itself. Pretty easy to do. It's just 4 hex bolts right here. Pop those off, and then you're going to look inside. After you pop off the marking disc, you're going to look down, and inside, if you can kind of, let's see, filming this on my cell phone, so it's a little tough to see. But right here, there's a little hole. When you look down that hole, you're going to see a set screw down in there, which is going to be a number 2 hex. If you look, let's see. Again, this doesn't let me close focus while it's recording, but essentially there's a set screw back in here that you access from that top hole. So you drop your hex wrench down in there. You're going to unscrew it. This guy's going to pop off, and you're going to be here. So I'm guessing some of you guys have gotten to this stage. Pop these bolts off here, which I just have one in for now. And this little plate will come off. And once you get this little plate off, this is basically, I'm guessing, where everyone's getting stuck. So the next thing is you have this little insert right up top here, which you can see has 2 holes in it. Let's see if I can get that. Okay, well, it looks like you can kind of tell. But essentially there's those 2 holes on the top left side of the gearbox, and you're going to get your circlip pliers and go ahead and unscrew that guy. And that's it. So essentially the way that this thing comes apart is you pull this top gear halfway out to where that ball bearing is about aligned with the edge of the surface there. And then you pull the back side out after you've done that. So once that's about aligned, you can kind of give this guy a wiggle, and this will come all the way out. And then this guy will come all the way out. So it's really basic. I mean, it's really actually a really nice build. Unfortunately, mine's, you know, not the best. But the gearbox on the inside is pretty simple. So there's not a whole lot of moving parts. There's, you know, these 2 ball bearings on the top gear. And then essentially this front gear has a ball bearing on the front and one on the back. Now these gears are really nicely miter cut. They're extremely well machined, way better than Hugo. But unfortunately, I really think that the way that these are cut is the entire problem why my gearbox has a little bit of a step in it. I've marked it 100 different ways and put it back together, and every single time it's getting caught up on the same place on the gears. So unfortunately, I think there's something wrong with them. I can't really visually see anything. That's just kind of the nature of the beast with gears sometimes. It's just so precisely machined that sometimes it's kind of hard to see that. So, but yeah, that's the inside of a Gini iFocus. Super nice parts. It goes together the exact same way. Again, keep in mind the dirty grease that you're going to see. These are nice and degreased, so I'm clean. But now you guys know what the inside looks like. Thanks.